Hello, welcome back. This is to continue the prepared video to discuss the practice exercises found in your modules. As for this video, this is concerned now on the lesson number 2 of unit number 3 on operations on integers. So we have four fundamental operations of integers. So we expect that there are four different practice exercises found in the module. And of course, there will be four different videos. But we will add one more that will include all the operations at once. Okay. As of the moment, we are concerned on the practice exercises A found in lesson number 2 of unit number 3. This is actually the Kotobee Reader application software at the bottom. This is already the module prepared here. So let me click this. And lesson number 2 will pop up, which is concerned on operations on integers. Supposedly, our topic should be operations on rational numbers. But we divide it into two groups, the integers and then the fractions later on. As to why, um, there is a great need for us to focus operations of integers first. Because when we deal with the operations of fractions as the second half of the operations of rational numbers, there are some, though we are doing already fractions there, we are going to go back to the concept of integers. Okay. And even if you go to higher, other types of branches of mathematics, let's say algebra and even higher level mathematics, there is a need for us to understand the operations of integers. As to the content of this lesson, we are not going to talk about it anymore, but rather we are going to proceed with practice exercises A, which is concerned on the addition of integers. So let me share the area where we can scribble all of our answers. So again, let me use the software I am more familiar with, the Paint application software. So this is the content for practice exercises A. We have addition of integers. So all operations are in addition form. We added number 5 here as we have three different integers just to wrap things up. Now, if we talk about addition of numbers, you're all familiar with it in your basic education years, in your elementary years, from grade 7 to uh, grades 1 to improve in your grade 6. Now, in grade 7, we are actually introducing the set of negative numbers. Okay, so we are actually going to include negative integers in operations. So for number 1, that's very basic for you. So 8 plus 5, just simply add them. The answer for number 1 is 13. No more debate for that. That is very basic. Okay, your basic addition. Okay, you're well familiar with the number 1. Now, as for number 2 and till number 5, that is where some of the students will take time to answer. But the good thing here in mathematics is there should be no rushing in answering. Right? You take step by step processes. So let's take for number 2. We have here negative 8 plus negative 5. To add integers, we have rules to follow, rule of signs. Okay? But before we go to the rule of signs, you can always think of a real life scenario wherein the integers are very common. The examples placed in your modules are the situations of going to the left, are going to the east and going to the west. Going to the west pertains to negative numbers, and a movement to the east pertains to the positive. Another type of situations found in your module is the made and missed shots in a shooting practice drill. Let's say if you take a shot, free throw shot, this is your score. If you miss, that you will deduct points. And then, of course, one of the best examples for integer is the real life situations which include integers is the concept of the borrowed money and the payment. So if we say borrowed, meaning utang po yan sa ating vernacular, is actually uh, the negative values. Kasi kapag may utang ka, may negative ka na what you call it, balance. But if you're going to pay, that's additional, that's actually a positive. If you have a positive number, meaning may naiwan kayong pera. So let's say for number 2. Negative 8 is, let's say, may utang ka na 8 pesos. Plus, at saka, may utang ka rin na 5 pesos. So how much do you have? Okay? How much do you have now? You actually have utang still kasi utang yung dalawa eh. Utang yung 8 pesos, utang yung 5 pesos. So meron ka ring utang. At ilan na yung utang mo? 8 plus 5, you have 13. So we expect that our answer here is utang of 13. When we say utang, we take the negative value. So we expect their answer at that our answer here is negative 13. As for the rule of signs, it follows that if you're going to add numbers with the same sign, simply add the numerical figure, not the value, ha? Numerical figure. If you say about numerical figure, as for negative 8, the numerical figure is 8. But the numerical value is negative 8. So let us not be confused with the numerical value and numerical figure. When you say figure, yung number lang. So we were going to add the figure 8 plus 5. So you have here 13. 8 plus 5 is 13. It looks like B. So let's make it better. 13. And the rule of sign says that if you're going to add numbers with same sign, simply copy that sign. Since we are adding two negative numbers, let's copy here negative. So the answer is negative 13. Similar to the situation we mentioned earlier as yung may utang ka na 8 pesos at saka, when you say at saka, that's additional eh. At saka may utang ka na 5 pesos. So meron kayong utang na 13 pesos. Number 3. Number 3 talks about negative 8 plus 5. Okay? Negative 8 plus 5. I would like to emphasize kasi ito yung may ibang concerns ng students natin. Kasi nga, meron tayong concept ng MDAS. Okay, MDAS. MDAS means the sequence of operations to be followed in terms of multiplication, division, addition, and subtraction. But it doesn't necessarily mean that one operation is superior than the other or to be prioritized first than the other. MDAS means the real meaning of MDAS is MD from left to right, whichever comes first. Again, MD, AS from left to right, whichever comes first. In this case, dalawa na yung grouping instead of four. May grouping tayo na multiplication division operation at saka addition subtraction operation. When you say about multiplication and division operation, whichever comes first sa kanila, it doesn't necessarily mean that multiplication is to be prioritized than division. So whichever comes first in the operation from left to right. Same thing with addition and subtraction. It doesn't mean that you always start with addition. It should come as whichever comes first from left to right. What is my point here? Kasi some students in number 3 will say that the answer is negative 13. How come? Because they are confused as to the understanding of AS that talaga mauuna yung addition kaysa sa subtraction. So you add this first, yun yung ibig sabihin nila. Inad na lahat ito and then later on na ginawa yung subtraction. So 8 plus 5 is 13 and they copy the sign. That's why you have negative 13. That's the misconception of the application of MDAS. Again, MDAS, MD, whichever comes first, and AS, whichever comes first. Not necessarily A than S. So to make this clear, the answer here is not negative 13. The answer here is to treat the negative sign from left to right tayo, to treat the subtraction symbol or the minus sign as the negative sign of 8 plus 5. Okay, so the answer here will follow the rule of signs. Okay, let's take for instance muna the real life situation. Negative 8. May utang ka na 8 pesos. Or let's not make it small kasi kapag sinabi natin utang dapat mas exage. May utang ka na 8,000 pesos. Okay, let's say 8,000 pesos. Plus positive 5, meaning may pera ka na 5,000. Ayun ha, may utang ka na 8,000 at saka may pera ka, kasi positive may pera ka 5,000. Assuming that you will pay Let's just assume. Assuming that you will pay that 5,000 to your 8,000 na utang, ano mangyayari? Kapag yung sagot niyo earlier is -13, mali talaga yon. Kasi kapag sinabi yung -13, mas lumaki yung utang. Utang mo lang is 8,000. Binayaran mo ng 5,000, bakit naging 13,000 yung utang mo? This is the reason why -13 earlier is really wrong or incorrect. So the correct answer here is -3. So kung 8,000 yung utang mo, binayaran mo ng 5,000, may utang ka pa rin. Ilan? 3,000 na lang. Okay? That's using a real life situation. Now, using the abstract situation here, we have rule of signs when we add integers with different signs. The sign of 8 is negative, the sign of 5 is positive, so they have of different sign. So the rule of sign here is we subtract the numerical figures. So the smaller from the bigger. Now figures are not the value. So 8 minus 5, kasi bigger yung figure ng 8, not the value, than 5. Figure of 5. 8 minus 5, 3. So you have 3 here. And then the rule of signs says that if we are adding numbers with different signs, we copy the sign of the larger numerical figure, not the value. Of course, definitely, if you say about the value, mas malaki yung 5 kasi sa -8. But for numerical figure, mas malaki yung 8 kasi sa 5. That's why we copy the negative here. So 8 minus 5, 3, and you copy the negative sign, -3. Okay. Number 4, we have 8 plus -5. Okay. So we are adding two numbers with same different signs. So we will use the rule of sign. 8 minus 5 is 3, and the bigger numerical figure is 8. Its sign is positive. Therefore, our answer here is +3. And to make it clear, simplify better, you don't need to place plus for positive. That will do. Okay? In real life situation, may 8,000 ka at saka may utang ka na 5,000 kasi yung utang negative. Assuming that you will pay the 5,000 utang, may natira pang 3,000 sa'yo. Well, that makes make it more exact. 8 million yung utang, 8 million yung pera mo. May utang ka na 5 million. Assuming that you will pay, you still have 3 million. Number 5 is actually the combination of, in number 5 here, you will see the combination of the rules of science I am talking. So let me copy here number 5. Let me transfer number 5 here para mas malaki yung area natin. So we have -8 plus 5 plus -2. If some of you could answer this immediately just by one glance, that's good. That's okay. No problem with me. As long as you're really, really sure that your answer is correct. But for the purpose of understanding how the processes of the science work, again, in mathematics, there's no need to rush. Just do it step by step. By step means let's do this muna. Pair, and then whatever the result is, we combine it with the other number. This pair already has answer for number 3. Because again, -8 plus 5, may utang ka na 8 pesos at saka binayaran mo, assuming na binayaran mo ng 5 pesos or 5 million, we still have utang. Ay, yung utang mo is -3. That is the answer for number 3 here. Ito. And then you combine it with -2. This is an example now of addition of integers with same signs. So we have -3 plus -2. Okay, so yeah, a rule of signs means you can, if they have the same sign, you can just add 3 plus 2, 5, and then copy the same sign, -5. Or in the application of real life situation, may utang ka na 3 pesos at saka may utang ka na 2 pesos. So ilan lahat? Yung utang mo, 5 pesos. That's why you have here -5. Again, when you solve for addition of integers, use the rule of signs for it to be guided, and definitely apply the proper use of MDAS. Not be confused with MDAS. Okay? For the next video, we will talk about subtraction of integers. As of the moment, use this video to understand better how to add integers. That's all. See you in the next video.